Anyone who won a lifetime supply of something, what is it? Viewer edition. Story 1. My dad saved a drowning child at an aqua park and turned out to be a relative of the owner, far related, but still. The owner was so grateful that he wanted to make him a free-for-life entrance to the park. My dad, knowing already he won't be around for much longer, asked to make it on my name. I was 6 at the time and had free entrance anyways. But here I am, a 27 young adult, bringing my children to that park each summer for free. Being friends with that owner's son, who is the current owner, and having one of the best presents left after my dad passed away. I only learnt about this story when he passed away when I was 8. I love my pa. That is probably going to be the most heartwarming story that we see in this whole thing. I mean, there'll be a lot of nice ones, I'm sure, but that's really sweet that, A, your dad was able to help save a kid and everything, and B, that, has led to not only you having free access to this cool park, but becoming friends with that person too. That's great. Story 2. I once won a year's supply of free small original sandwiches from Schlotzsky's for being one of the first 100 customers when a new location opened. It came in the form of a card that I could show to the cashier and they would just deduct the cost of the sandwich manually. It allowed me to get 1 sandwich per week and it only worked at that specific location. After a couple months, I got super sick of the original sandwiches, but the cashiers were always nice enough to let me get any kind of sandwich after that. Before the year was up, I ended up moving out of state, and since the card only worked at that one location, I gave my card to a friend so they could use it for the last few months. I'm not familiar with whatever that location is, but you have described my dream, which is to have a delicious place that does sandwiches give me free sandwiches, because sandwiches are the greatest food in the world, and I don't care if I'd have to travel half an hour every week to get that free sandwich. I would do it, by golly. Someone give me free sandwiches. Story 3. A teacher at my old school won a lifetime supply of pencils in the 70s. The contract said to do with as you please and sent upon request. They just stopped shipping in the early 2000s. He requested more and they responded something like, "We consider our part of the deal fulfilled." He contacted a lawyer that contacted them and they decided it was probably a good idea to honor the deal. Someone over there decided that if we send a pallet of pencils, he will stop requesting more. Well, teacher started handing out pencils left, right, and center, donated half the pallet to the school, and sold the rest to a local store. Took about 4 months before he requested more. They started to send 10 packs at a time. Story 4. I won a lifetime gym membership and judo wrestling session when I was 7. When I turned 14, my judo coach died and the judo classes turned into a jiu-jitsu class. My lifetime prize was honored by my jiu-jitsu coach to this day. The gym has honored my prize down the line of passing the gym. Now I'm 26. I coach children at the gym I won a membership from. Grappling in general changed my life. Story 5. So I won the best picture in a photography contest. My mom took a picture of baby me, and I won a lifetime supply of photos. Anytime my family goes to take a picture, we show them a card and they honor it. 17 years later, they still honor it. Initially I was going to say, wow, what use is it being able to print off photos when all the photos these days are, digital and just on the computer? But I envy that because I have actually recently started getting some photos that my partner and I have taken of ourselves and the dogs and having them actually printed or even printed on little canvas things to hang up on the walls. Folks, print your photos if you get a chance. If you got some good ones, print those up and hang them around because I did not realize how much I was missing out on just being able to casually glance and see those memories on my wall and stuff like that, and how good it makes me feel instead of having them all just live on my Google Drive or whatever, where I almost never look at them except when I mindlessly scroll through my phone once a year or something and try and clear out some data. Print your photos, folks. It's awesome. Story 6. A guy who went to my high school won a Ford Explorer from a soda bottle on our lunch break, but the contest expired a very short time before he found the winning piece. The word of his win spread so fast, too. There were about 20 of us around the payphone when he tried to call it in, and he was let down in front of us all. Story 7. Concerning Story 12, Nat Geo is greater than Lego. A lifetime Nat Geo subscription costs several $100s. I think it's up to $900 now. Until several years ago, their annual subscription renewal price was $12. Yeah, $1 per issue. So most people who got the lifetime subscription were paying a hefty premium. So yeah, they're going to go out of their way to make sure you get your magazines. I switched to a lifetime subscription when they raised the annual renewal to $36. The lifetime was $600 at that time, so payback in 17 years and includes digital access to all past issues. Story 8. Not a year's supply, but a while ago, Donut King in Australia released a mobile game. If you racked up enough points in the game, you could earn real donuts as prizes. If you won, the app would store little digital coupon things for you, and all you had to do was show the cashier at Donut King, then have them mark it as redeemed. I got very, very good at that game. I had a Donut King within walking distance of my university, so it got to the point where I could pick up at least 1 or 2 free donuts almost daily. And the maximum prize you could win was a box of 4 donuts, so I frequently got those as well. It was only a limited time promotion, so it did have to end eventually. But I still had donuts in my freezer for nearly a year after the promotion ended. I'm guessing many people do the same, is why that promotion has never been brought back again.
I mean, that is pretty awesome. Aside from, I don't know how frozen donuts would hold up. I've never tried to freeze a donut. But as someone who used to work at a bakery and would arrive to start packaging stuff up for deliveries and stuff, like, usually within an hour of the donuts having just been made, so they're like fresh and hot. And I was allowed to have free donuts. I could have a free donut every day when I got to work if I wanted. And let me tell you, I had maybe a half a donut every month. I don't like donuts very much. They're fine. It's a little too sweet, and I don't know. I had so many friends who'd be like, "Why aren't you eating donuts every day?" And I'd be like, I don't care. I will say I did care if I got there while the cake donuts were still being fried, because a cold room temperature cake donut, meh, I don't care. Who gives a darn? Dip it in coffee? Bleh, whatever. A fresh cake donut where you crack it open and it's still steaming from the fryer heat tastes like heaven. If you have a chance to get one, get one.
Story 9. A church in my hometown had an Easter event for kids when I was a small child. I don't really remember anything other than there being a table full of jars full of candy. You have to guess the amount of candy inside in order to win. Well, my small child self walled up to the biggest jar, slapped my hand on its lid, and just spat out a random number. Somehow I got it exactly right. I still have that jar to this day. Story 10. A few years ago, there was a part work series being published related to Doctor Who. They ran a competition on Facebook. If you won, you got the entire subscription for free. I entered and I won. However, they offered a premium subscription where if you pay £1 extra for each book, you get some other books. I had already decided to take out that subscription, but they didn't honor it. They did refund me when I had already paid, though, so that was good. Towards the end of the subscription, they asked me for payment a couple of times, and I had to write back to them saying I had won the entire subscription. They eventually gave me all the books for free until the part work was complete. Story 11. My parents bought lifetime memberships to a local gym, Lifetime Fitness, in the 80s. They never really used them much after my brother and I were born, but later when I was 17, my dad gave me his membership card. We both share the same name, so I just needed to show my ID, and that was apparently good enough for the staff. I used that card for just a little over a decade before the ones in my area all closed up. It was kind of a shame as the gym I went to was pretty nice. The patrons were an older crowd, but the place had lots of nice machines, free weights, a small lap pool, hot tub, sauna, and a great steam room. The only downside was the locker rooms had communal showers. Story 12. Sort of similar, but not really. My local restaurant did a competition where you had to look for cowbells around the town and turn them in. I found one and was pumped. The winner could make their own pizza with the chef, who I knew well, and it could be added to the menu. My plan was to make a dessert pizza, but I never got to do it. Still have the cowbell proudly on display in my room to this day.
Why cowbells? What a strange thing to be able to find. And if the prize was that you got to make a pizza with the chef and you didn't get to do it, That was a pretty bad contest. Did you need more than one cowbell? Did you have a fever? And the only prescription... I'm doing a terrible Christopher Walken. I can do better. The camera makes me shy. More cowbell.
Story 13. I purchased a bike back in 2005 and the frame had a lifetime guarantee where it was good until 2020. I used it, then left it sitting for years as I went through the full-time job plus night college classes part of my life until I could ride a bike to work again and pulled it out of retirement. Some weeks later, the frame had minor cracks on the top tube, so I took it to the same bike shop I got it from. Fiscal note, receipt with taxes that certifies a transaction unquestionably in hand, and got them to replace the frame free of charge except for labor costs. Sadly, the new frame didn't boast any guarantees. Sad times. Story 14. Not a contest, but my parents bought a lifetime subscription to Reader's Digest when they got married in the early 1920s. It was $50 or maybe less, a fair amount of money at the time. My grandfather lived until his 90s. Even better, there have been 4 generations of the name, my grandfather, uncle, cousin, and my cousin's son. So just by sending a change of address notice, that subscription has continued. I don't know for sure if they're still doing it. I don't think Reader's Digest is enjoyed by many Gen Z kids. I'm pretty sure they did for a long while. Story 15. When I was 4 years old, my parents took me and my sister to the local amusement park for her birthday on opening day of the park. In exchange for being in a commercial they were filming, my sister and I got season passes for the rides. There was no admission charge, just a charge if you went on the rides. Our parents took us like 3 to 4 times a week for the entire summer. We loved it, but were bummed the next year when we only went twice the entire season.
I'm so jealous. As a child, I would have been unbelievably jealous because where I grew up in northern Minnesota, I believe the closest amusement park was Valley Fair in the Twin Cities area where I now live. But that was like 4 hours away from where I lived, at least. And so I almost never got to go to theme parks. I got to wait for the county fair to come around every year. I could ride a few of those rides, and that was it. I went to theme parks like 3 times my whole life. And now that I'm older and I could go whenever I want, I don't go because I'm old, and the rides will probably crush my brittle old man bones.
Story 16. Not a lifetime supply, but my college was chosen as a test market fast break candy bars. Our bookstore was given pallets of these to give out for free. That was my go-to snack every day. Fun fact, the original wrapper was blue, not that orange color it is now. Story 17. When my son was born, he was the largest baby born in the state of Virginia that day. As a prize, we were given free diapers for his life. He started in 3-month diapers, which only lasted about 2 weeks. I gave most of the diapers to the other people, and by the time we got things straightened out and got the right size diaper for how big he was, I was still in confusion as to how this could be happening, as they said they did this every day for the biggest baby born in the state. Story 18. Early 2000s, there was this local hamburger brand which was just starting up. They had an ad in their newspaper when they opened their second location, and whoever came first would get lifetime membership, which included free hamburgers for the rest of their life or some shares of the company. So I was having a day off and decided to wake up at 4 a.m. before opening and go there. I got there, and I was first. An hour later, a couple of more people came, but they all left. So when the doors opened, I won. When they asked what I wanted, I decided to take my share because as much as I liked their burgers, they were not worth eating for the rest of my life. Ended up signing some papers, etc., got my 10% of the shares, and forgot everything about it. Their brand got super big. They ended up having one in every city, at least 2 to 3 stores. Fast forward 10 or so years, and I got contacted with the company if I wanted to sell my shares. I didn't think much, but when they told me how much I could make, I decided to go with it. Long story short, my life is very set now, as is my kids' too. What made the whole thing even crazier is that just 2 years later, the old owner of that brand died and his son took over. Company didn't last another year, and my son didn't know anything, was greedy and worse, had some nasty habits. He ended up in jail and the company closed down. So yeah, that is the story how I won lifetime burgers and were very lucky and smart.
I've been trying to think through this whole story whether or not I would have taken the shares or if my love of sandwiches and hamburgers would have won out. And even if it did win out, would I have been like, oh no, look at all the money I missed out on and all this stuff? Or would I have been like, I had a life full of delicious hamburgers. It was great. I guess we'll never know.
Story 19. I won a year of free Texas Roadhouse. Similar to the guy who won a year of Krispy Kremes, it was a punch card, but boy did we get the most expensive stuff on the menu. I was burnt out from Texas Roadhouse for a long time. We didn't go back about a year after that. LOL. I can't even tell you the last time I went. LOL. Edit. Oh, that's cool. Another person won a year of Texas Roadhouse. That's coolio. Story 20. I walked into Victoria's Secret to buy my then-wife something. I forget what. It was like 25 years ago. I happened to be the 1,000th customer to enter that particular store and won a lifetime supply of Tampax products. Being a man, I have little use for Tampax products. The people at the store thought this was extremely funny. I, too, thought this was extremely funny, but no woman I have been with has ever paid for feminine hygiene stuff while with me. At first, I was given a stack of coupons that could be redeemed once a month for my choice of whatever. After a few years, I was contacted by some corporate so-and-so and given an online code that I could put into a list of affiliate websites, choose a product, and they'd send it to me. My current girlfriend is benefiting from it to this day. Story 21. Not a lifetime supply story, but like other stories, it made me never want to touch it. Blue Powerade again. When I was younger, I bought an insane amount of Blue Powerade, like up to 5 a day. Had cases at home and brought some from gym vending machines. Noticed it started something similar to food virus symptoms. If you've never had a food virus, it's very agonizing, including the inability to retain food/water because your body tries to get rid of it to remove the virus. Extreme muscle/overall fatigue due to the dehydration, and of course the destructive liquid poop that burns like gasoline being lit on fire. Tried it one more time and noticed my body starting the food virus process again, and just never touched the stuff since. Also should note that I rarely drank water at that time, which is more than likely what caused it. Too high of a salt/sugar concentration, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, unless you were like an extreme athlete who really needed to replenish some electrolytes, you should not be drinking that much Powerade. That is a lot of sugar and whatever weird chemicals they put in to make it blue. Yeah, no, like you would have to be like training for a marathon, and even then, if you were like, yeah, I train like half the day for this marathon, I go through 5 Powerades, I probably would have been like, that's too many Powerades.
Story 22. At some point, I apparently won a lifetime supply of bizarrely worthless ideas. They are delivered to my brain without warning on a regular basis. At least half of them are food-related for some reason. Carbonated spinach juice, anyone? No? How about some beet fudge? Mustard-flavored bubblegum? Steamed lettuce? No? The stuff just randomly pops into my head all the time, and the food-related ones are mostly harmless, but then there are the other ideas. Some of them are pretty dark. Story 23. Not lifetime supply, but I was picked as one of the mayor's choice students. I won a card for infinite free movie tickets for the month and a $5 McDonald's card for the popcorn. I don't know why she thought this would work for popcorn, but I never ended up using the movie card because the movies this month weren't my cup of tea. Story 24. I won mini M&M's contest of win $1,000 every summer for the rest of your life sweepstakes when I was 10. Didn't turn it in, though. I didn't use scissors to cut down the line and accidentally ripped right down the middle of where it said, "You won," and I thought it wasn't even worth mailing in because their machine wouldn't be able to confirm it was real when I had ripped right through it. LOL. Won it on Valentine's Day on the groovy mini M&Ms. I still wish every year that I had mailed it anyway instead of trying to think logically. Too smart of a kid, LOL. They probably would have accepted it, LOL. But there I was, a 10-year-old concerned that people try to send in fakes all the time and would need a machine to confirm the wrapper. LOL. Story 25 was given a lifetime subscription to Playboy magazine. It was provided by the company itself. Never knew how my name was picked, but they did indeed send it every month for years. It was interesting for a while, but I still had stacks of them that never opened. The free magazines ended when the company went private. kind of a bummer.
Nothing like winning a lifetime supply of something that became obsolete when the internet was created. I got all these free magazines. Neat.
Story 26. Middle school and a bit of high school, I would do community service for my apartment complex, and the people in the front office gave me the free pizza number. I don't know if it was a partnership or out of the company fees, but I never paid. Only catch was I had to pick it up at the front office. It doesn't exist anymore, however, it was fun while it lasted, and always funny meeting with the drivers, and they'd ask, "How did you kids do this?" "Oh, well, here's a free pizza. Oh, and thanks for the tip." Domino's has been my go-to ever since. Story 27. Not my story, but my mom has since passed on. She won a lifetime supply of 10 Jellos from a farm contest for growing some plant really well. I don't remember what she grew, but she made everything you could imagine with those 10 Jellos. Took her 2 months to use me all, but I swear my mom and I got so sick she never ate another orange or tangerine citrus. Story 28. Our McDonald's has a sign up right now that advertises free McDonald's for life if you do something with their app. I'm guessing that they expect you to die of grease poisoning before it costs them too much. Not a lifetime supply, but when I was 10 years old, we would go in the fall to this apple orchard, which also pressed and sold cider. For 10 cents, you got a small Dixie cup and could drink out of the stainless steel tank spigot all the cider you could drink while you were there. Being a fat kid with a mouthful of sweet teeth, I got a lot more than my 10 cents worth. I'm now 67 and haven't eaten apples, drank apple juice, or eaten applesauce altogether maybe 30 times since in 57 years. Story 29. My grandma worked at a special ed school in our city until she retired. She has a card that allows her to get into any sport event or band event for free. Story 30. I won a lifetime supply of lies when I was born. Today, I'm still getting lies regularly. They actually seem to be coming with a lot more frequency lately. Story 31. M&M story reminded me of when I was a UPS package car driver. All truckers, when they delivered or picked up at the M&M plant, would be given a package of whatever product was/were available at that plant. Filled in one day for the regular guy and got a bag of whatever they were making. It was 50 years ago, so I don't remember the product. The regular guy could get a bag every day if he wanted.
Folks, let me tell you, if you can be a delivery driver for something, you'll get free stuff. And it's great. When I was a delivery driver for a bakery, I would bring our bread to certain grocery stores all around northern Minnesota and everything. And I'd get some free stuff every once in a while. Like nothing amazing, but it was still really nice. Like people were always super polite, happy to see me. If it weren't for the ungodly hours, it would have been just the best job.
Story 32. I did the free film for life. I sent in a couple rolls. They sent back developed pictures, replacement rolls, cheaper developing than local places, maybe 2 days longer time, but excellent quality. Double prints was under $1 more, so I always got double. Then they started pushing movie quality film. It seemed sticky in hot weather and brittle in cold, so I barely tried it. I will admit it did have slightly more vibrant contrasts. Story 33. Whenever I see a competition claim you'll get any kind of a times supply of something, I just get skeptical over it. Like a year's supply of pizza from somewhere most definitely doesn't mean you can go there and get a pizza every day of the year. They have a set amount of times you can get it that it's deemed a year's worth, like once a month or once a week. Story 34. Arnott's running quite a scam there, getting God knows how many people to buy their stuff for the competition. When a winner is found, just reimburse the winner because they don't want to give the prize they promised, and no one else knows they were essentially scammed into paying for a prizeless competition. If that's not illegal, it really should be. Also love the ones that are like, "Oh, you were hurt by/unsatisfied by the quality of our product. Have lots and lots of it for free as an apology." Story 35. My family won a year of Cane's Chicken when it first opened in my city. All of us had Cane's cards, and it was great at first and got old so fast I would never want anything like that again.
Oh, I wanted to initially just be like, how could you say that about Cane's Chicken? Raising Cane's, oh, it's so good, the sauce. But it really is just chicken tenders and the sauce and bread? Some mediocre coleslaw? I don't know. But no. I guess I really love Raising Cane's, but I have them like once a year, and I think if I had them once a week, yeah, that'd get old quick.
Story 36. I want a year's supply of Coca-Cola. What a joke. 1 can every 3 days would make it last a year. 2.5 months, it lasted for me. Story 37. The gray M&M person, if true, is a victim of fraud. The $1 million was claimed by a mobster who had the gray M&M stolen and kept it in his fridge for a while before cashing it in. This person may have been the first legitimate finder of a gray M&M and the rightful winner of $1 million. Story 38. I was about 12 when my dad bought a lifetime subscription to the Reader's Digest. He put it in my name. It came to my parents' home through college. When I married, he let me change it to my new name and address. That was in 1952. I'm 83, have moved 8 times, still get the magazine. 71 years for $25.
You know, that is really cool that we've had multiple stories about people who had these, lifetime subscriptions to Reader's Digest. That's neat that they offered it back then and that they are still honoring it so many years later. That's really cool. I don't think I've ever read a Reader's Digest in my life, so I'm not exactly sure what's in there, but I still think it's cool.
Story 39. My wife and I once owned a trucking company. Among our regular freight deliveries, we delivered movie film to 6 theaters. For years, all the theaters gave us unlimited viewing. All that is except the state prison we served. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.